What is up? Welcome back to the NFL Rundown, brought to you courtesy of Run Pure Sports and Run Pure Bets. Tyler, we are having a lot of fun today. We broke down the NBA earlier. I've been doing Australian Open work in between that, but we know the sport that takes the center stage. It is the National Football League. The playoffs are here. You know, I kind of talked down about a wild card weekend, right? Because I don't like a lot of those matchups. I mean, right, 12-point dogs. Like, no one wants to see that in the playoffs. But this week is completely different. I think these matches are great, and I have sides and I have opinions on these sides, but I don't feel nearly as strong as last week. So I think it's pretty tough as a bettor. I think it's pretty awesome as a fan. And I want to thank everyone who joins us here on the replay, because I know a lot of you guys, right, 4 p.m. on my side, 7 p.m. Eastern, recording this show. Hopefully you guys are catching this Saturday morning before we kick off. Thank you for doing that. And if so, like the video. And you're probably already subscribed if you're watching it. So we appreciate that. Tyler, the divisional playoffs are here. No more of these 12-point dogs. What are your overall thoughts before we jump in game by game?
Yeah, I mean, the benefits, all the favorites winning, just like you said. I mean, these are going to be great games this week, all the top matchups. I mean, I love a lot of the underdogs. We'll talk about that. And I just think it's great matchups this week. Just all like Green Bay, San Fran. It's a great matchup, great storyline. Buffalo, KC already.
Budding rivalry there. So Green Bay, San Francisco, rivalry that's been around for a while. I think KC, Buffalo could be the next installment of a rivalry such as that.
Yeah, I totally agree.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt. What else you got? I'm sorry.
No, I agree with you. It's definitely the budding rivalry.
Yeah.
But I mean, we could get right into these games.
All right, let's jump in.
Talk about last week.
And the good thing is, since a lot of people are watching late, right? We're going to be quick and efficient, giving you our takes and, of course, giving out the winning picks. Let's start. It's going to be a lot of fun tomorrow at 4:30 Eastern, 1:30 Pacific. If you're out here with me and the Cincinnati Bengals, fresh off a win over my Las Vegas Raiders. Hey, we were like the Oscars. We were just happy to be nominated. Tennessee Titans laying 3.5 at home, total 47.5. Derrick Henry returns, but who knows his effectiveness? I mean, I haven't even seen like the leaked practice videos of what's going on out there. Tyler, you know that, what was it, week 18, right? On this show, I took the Titans at 10-1, felt pretty good about my CLV there. It was 8-1 after they had beaten the Texans that Sunday. Felt pretty good, right? Because give me $2 of value there just for a game that we assumed they would win, and they did it. Now they have the week off. We don't know what Derrick Henry is doing, but we do know the Bengals looked fantastic in their win over the Raiders, especially on the offensive end. How are you approaching this game?
Yeah, I mean, this one's going to be a good one. It's going to really all factor in on Derrick Henry. You figure if he's back and healthy and they're able to run this ball against Cincinnati, it's going to be holding Joe Burrow on the sideline. Their offense isn't going to be able to get going. But on the other hand, if he's not as effective and they just can't get anything going with Tannehill and these receivers, Cincinnati could light them up. It's basically the same weather from Cincinnati's matchup last week. My only worry here, Spread, that was a very emotional win for them last week. Figure first playoff win in like 32 years.
Yeah, but most of those guys aren't even 32 years old.
Yeah, I know it doesn't really factor into them, but you figure like the city, all the emotions that come through that stadium, they were all celebrating, jumping into the stands. So I think maybe a Tennessee first half bet wouldn't be a bad idea. I could definitely see them taking advantage, like taking control of this game and going into halftime up, say like 10-3, up a touchdown, and then they just ride Derrick Henry. But I'm torn on this game on the side. The more I look at it, the best way I'd probably bet this game is you could do the anytime touchdowns in the money line parlays. Derrick Henry to score a touchdown and Tennessee wins plus 130. I'd gladly take that.
So you're basically saying you're trading the Derrick Henry touchdown there for the 3.5 points. And you're going to get to my point here. So, right, obviously, if I believed in Tennessee, I was going to believe in them to win this first round match. The reason I made that bet at 10-1 is if they win this game, I'm ready to hedge by next weekend. Probably will, right? Going against either the Chiefs or the Bills, wasn't the best outcome for my bet there because those are going to be two tough teams, whoever comes out of there. So I'm definitely be looking towards Tennessee here. That 3.5 is scaring me off
already this year, though, spread.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I made the bet for a reason, but I'm just saying I'll probably hedge. Let's talk about the 3.5 though, because if this was regular season, I would go. What's the old adage, right? You take the 2.5, you lay the 3.5 because of how it's tricky. Nobody ever wants to lay 3.5, right? Everyone that's bet for more than in one season can remember time they've laid 3.5 and they've got hooked. Right. And so it's just like, I don't want to feel that again. I don't want to do that again. And the worst is the game's 24-24, less than a minute to go. And you know that they're not going to go for the touchdown. Right. So it's just like, it can be frustrating laying the 3.5. I am considering it though, but I've heard so many good arguments for Cincinnati being able to keep it close here. Like, what would your game script be where, like, for either one? If Tennessee wins, how do you think the game looks? And if Cincinnati wins, what do you think that they would be able to do?
I think if Tennessee wins, it looks like one of their games from earlier in the year when Henry was healthy. They just beat him down with the run. Maybe he busts a long touchdown early in the game. They're up 7-0. They run a couple play action plays, get some deep passes to A.J. Brown and Julio. And other than that, they just beat the hell out of them on the ground and just let their defense win the game. Cincinnati wins the game. It's going to be them turning Ryan Tannehill over, taking Derrick Henry out of the game because they're going to have the lead already.
Yeah.
And just lighting them up with these receivers. So the more I look at this spread, I'm starting to lean your way. I was Cincinnati at first, but I'm starting to lean the Tennessee side is going to win this game.
Yeah. One other thing here. I do believe Tennessee's got a big coaching advantage. I mean, Zach Taylor for coach of the year, like, come on, dude. Joe Burrow is so good.
I think missing that defensive tackle is just going to be so big too. Like, he was a key part on that defensive line. Now he's gone. Like, there just might be a giant hole in the middle for Henry to run through all day.
Yeah, that would be huge as well. So, okay, I lean Tennessee, but I haven't laid 3.5 yet. We will see if I get there by tomorrow. But right now, I'm happy just kind of riding the future bet that I made and knowing that, hey, I can hedge off and make a profit if they just win this game straight up. Money line, you had talked about approaching it with the Derrick Henry anytime touchdown plus Tennessee Titans win money line. Hey, let's turn this around though real quick. If people are watching or listening later after the fact and they say, you know what, these guys are wrong, Cincinnati's going to win. Tyler, you've been a master at making the extra money by combining the player props with the team to win. Is there one that you would consider there if I said, hey, make me a Cincinnati one right now, right? Like a Chase touchdown, a T. Higgins touchdown. How would you approach that from a player performance double perspective? And did you have any individual props for the game that we can get on?
Yeah, I mean, you hit it right on the head unless you wanted to go Joe Mixon, which I think they could run the ball, but I trust the receivers more for this team. If you do that same thing, the Henry Titans win with the touchdown and just flip it with Chase in Cincinnati, plus 350, Higgins plus 460, Boyd plus 600. You can take all three and make profit as long as he throws a touchdown and you win the game.
Let's just go back to the Chase one. How many times do you actually think that Cincinnati wins this game and Jamar Chase doesn't get in the end zone, right?
I mean, you got to remember, though, like there's been games where he's disappeared and the other guys just go off. Like,
but wasn't that in the middle of the season? And don't you think he was carrying something at that point that we weren't led on to?
Maybe, but I could see it being one of the things that are like, take him out of the game.
Okay.
And all of a sudden, T. Higgins has 8 catches for $160 and 2 touchdowns.
T. Higgins was quiet last week against the Raiders. We'll see if he bounces back this week. All right. Sounds pretty good.
I was looking at the individual props. Sorry to cut you off, but...
No, cut me off with the props. People are here for your props, not to hear me talk.
Derrick Henry, 80.5 rushing yards. You just have to play the over there on principle. If he's as healthy as they say he is, and he's just going to run again, that number should be like 98. He's going to clear 100 yards if he's good. So I like that. Now with him back, though, Tennessee's going to run a lot more 2 tight end sets. That Nick Westbrook, a Kenyan receiver, give me the under 28.5 on his receiving yards.
Oh, okay.
He ain't going to be on the field much. It's going to be Julio, A.J. Brown, and the 2 tight ends and Henry. And sometimes they're going to take Julio off the field and just leave A.J. Brown out there with 2 tight ends. So
I love it, Tyler. I've been saying we need to hit more unders on these player props. So
yeah, I like those.
What's the kid's name again? Because you caught me off guard there. What's his name?
His name's Nick Westbrook, and then it has a dash, and I think it's a Kenyan, a Kenya or something.
I just think of Russ.
I know I'm butchering.
We're going under on Russ. I'm down. All right, rest his homie.
We'll just call his name's Nick Westbrook Dash. We'll just leave the last part out.
Nick Westbrook. Let's see if the Lakers trade him. Let's move on to the next game. And we talked about a great rivalry, and I interrupted you. I apologize for that. I will make sure not to when we're talking about this game for a second time. But the 49ers and Packers, right? What a rivalry. They've met 8 times since 1995 in the playoffs. They are 4-4, but San Francisco has won the last 3, including the memorable 2019 game in which Jimmy Garoppolo only threw 7 times. We had fun watching on the live show. I think we were together for that one. And the 49ers just lined up and ran the ball like a high school team. That could happen again today. If you are betting the 49ers, that is what you believe will happen, because that's obviously their path to victory. But we talked about it with the Tennessee Titans. They're off the bye. The Packers are off the bye, right? They've had time to rest up. They're getting guys like Bakhtiari, Jair Alexander back. And not only that, the bye gave them an extra week for those guys to work back in the sets, work back into practice, get back into the feeling of playing football. People go back and forth on the bye, right? You hear the rest versus rest. I personally veer towards the rest category, as beat up as these guys get during the season. I think the bye is a huge edge. Obviously, Lambeau Field's a huge edge. But the Packers have had a lot of games at Lambeau, and still, Rodgers 1-5 in championship games. So obviously, it's not the be-all, end-all of edges. I like the 49ers plus the points here. I'm going to keep riding with these guys, and I like that style of football. I think that the 49ers defense will be able to come up with the way. You're not going to stop him, right? But if you can limit Davante Adams, I think they've got a good chance. Be interesting to see if Rodgers gets frustrated again, right? We've seen him get frustrated before when the team gets behind. I think the 49ers do have the ability to keep the ball from him, right? The same way you do it against Mahomes. That's what they're going to want to do. They definitely want to control the time of possession. And as good as Davante Adams is, I think that Deebo Samuel is an equal weapon, even though he's used in a completely different manner. I'm taking the points with the 49ers. Tyler, what do you think of my handicap?
I love it. Excuse my language. Fuck the points. Take the money line. Green Bay's going down tomorrow. Spread.
Do it. Let's do it. Let's hear it.
They're getting Bosa and Warner back, so their defense is going to be good. I know the secondary is their weakness. Davante Adams could have a big game like he's had against them before. All right. Now, this team has been rolling in every game that Rodgers has played in, minus that 1 week against the Chiefs. He was out with COVID. Mm-hmm. They've rolled all their momentum over since week 2. Now they get hit a bye week. You don't think that momentum might have took a little bit of a hit there? And now they're going to come in here maybe a little flat-footed, be a very bad team to get down 7-0 to, and you don't respond quickly. They run the ball down your throat for another 8 minutes. Now they're up 14-0. Jimmy G drove them down the field in under a minute to score a touchdown in that game in week 3. And, of course, Rodgers goes down and gets the field goal in 30 seconds. So can't cap that, but Jimmy G's shown us he can get that touchdown for us. If Kyle Shanahan coaches a great game here, Jimmy G will throw a good game. That's all it comes down to, because he listens to the coach. Mitchell can run the ball like Mostert did against them a couple years ago. Kittle's going to get open. Debo's going to be running the ball more than he did in week 3. It's a whole different version of this offense. They're going to win this game. Green Bay's going home tomorrow.
I love it. Tyler, taking, and I didn't even mention it. Bad hosting by me. I said that the 49ers were plus 5.5. I said the total was 47. I left out the money line. Tyler likes it. Plus 204 for the San Francisco 49ers money line. So we're kind of in lockstep there, unlike taking the Niners. It's just how aggressive do you want to get? Do you want to play it safe like me, grab the points, or do you want to go for it like Tyler? And let's be honest, guys, Tyler's been doing a great job at identifying these money line spots, kind of like he did with the Houston Rockets the other night. Why take 13?
And then I also hear the argument is Jimmy G doesn't play in cold weather. He went to college in Illinois. It gets cold in Illinois in the wintertime when you got to play football. He also played for New England. Mm-hmm. I mean, the guy's going to be fine up in Lambeau.
I'm not too worried about the cold weather.
They're a running team.
Yeah, I think their team is actually more designed for this style of game, right? For a January game. Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. So let's talk about props. We both think that San Francisco is going to win, or at least cover. Close game could lend itself to some overs. Who are you targeting?
Now they have game. It's right when you click on the games on FanDuel, they have a tab that says game specials. Now, when you click on them, you open them up. 2 stick out to me right off the bat.
Okay.
Now, if Devontae Adams does torch the secondary spread, probably going over 100 yards.
We can win our money line, and he could have 150 yards and 2 TDs.
Yeah. Well, there's a bet on here. Devontae Adams to have 100+ receiving yards and to score 1+ touchdowns. They don't have to win the game. And that's plus 220. I'll take that. Another one I like.
It's almost like a hedge too.
Yeah, the other one I like too. Elijah Mitchell to have 100+ rushing yards and to score 1 touchdown, plus 450. I'm taking both of those.
I like that better.
I'm taking both of those because I think when you look at the game scripts for both teams, you probably get one or the other.
I like both those. Those are great looks. Say them again one more time for everybody because I was interrupting you. I'll stay quiet and let them know the book too. You got to pull those up and play these right now.
They're on FanDuel and they're under the popular tab right when you click on the game. It's game specials and then it has the semicolons featured. Devontae Adams to have 100+ receiving yards and to score 1 touchdown, plus 220, and Elijah Mitchell to have 100+ rushing yards and to score a touchdown, plus 450.
Those are great looks right there. Those are great looks. Anything else from this game before we move on?
I mean, the other things maybe I was looking at were Deebo Samuel's rushing yards. And 38.5 is a bit high, but I just think he's going to rush all over this team. So I'll gladly take the over there.
All right. Sounds like a plan. Let's move on to Sunday, Tyler. Another NFC West team will be an underdog on the road. Not against the reigning MVP this time, against the reigning champion, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. They're not catching as many points, though, Tyler. Only catching 3 in Tampa. Hey, if home fields were 2.5, right, they're saying that the Buccaneers are 0.5 point better than the Rams. A little bit interesting. I think 5 or 6 weeks ago, you would have laughed at that. The loss of AB, Godwin. Do you have his status? He's hurt, though, right? But he's going to play.
Who? Godwin?
Yeah.
Godwin's out with a torn ACL. Okay, unless you mean Evans, unless you have him and Evans mixed up.
So Evans is banged up and Godwin's out, right?
Yeah, Godwin's out. Brown is now doing other things.
And, yeah, he's going to box Jake Paul, right?
And Evans is on one leg, so the receiving
Evans and Godwin, I got them mixed up. Okay, my quick handicap here on why I like the Rams, and this is so simple, and you guys might just turn off the show and say, "Spread, you're so simple." But Tom Brady, right? He doesn't like pressure up the middle. He likes to step up in the pocket, right? You get a guy like Mahomes, right? When he gets the rush, he's going to go down and around, right? Brady likes to go up in the pocket. What happens when you go up against the Rams? You run right into Aaron Donald. That's why I think they've had success against Brady in the past. But, hey, I use that same handicap when the Rams play the Patriots in the Super Bowl. So it's not foolproof here. But if you think about it, they only held the Patriots to, 13 points there? It was the offense that lost them that Super Bowl. So I still think there is some credence to it here. I like the way they match up, not to mention, right, Jalen Ramsey, Mike Evans. Is there a little bit of a rivalry there? Or am I thinking of Lattimore Evans?
Lattimore Evans.
Okay, so for whatever reason, I thought that Ramsey and Evans really like to play against each other as well. And, hey, that's a great way to stop it, right? What's going to be the issue here? I think it's the tight ends, right? Gronk and Cameron Brate both have great matchups, I think, and we know that Brady does like to use his tight ends. So all is not lost for the Tampa Bay offense, but I do think of all the defenses in the NFL, the Rams are maybe, if not the best, one of the best suited to slow down Tom Brady and the Tampa attack. I like the Rams and the points here. What do you think, Tyler?
Last week, I wasn't able to fade this team because they played the other fraud in the playoffs that I wanted to fade.
Oh, they were fraudulent.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Here comes the other fraud. Because all Brady's got to do is just play a Brady game here. Just play smart. Don't make any dumb decisions. Go down, get your points. Stafford's going to screw this up 100%. He's going to throw.
Oh, he's just killing my pick, and he goes, oh, don't lose our internet now, man. We were just about to crossfire. We were all agreeing on Saturday. Oh, man. All right, I'm going to talk real quick. Hopefully Tyler will jump out and jump back in. Let's see some other good things, interesting things about that game. I'll pull up some props right now until we get Tyler back. Tyler, just interrupt me when your internet returns. Oh, gosh, these are terrible props. I got to go to Bet Online, excuse me. Bookmaker is not giving me good props right now. Let me see if I can get Tyler back in here. No, Tyler's not coming back in. All right, guys, we will be back. Tyler's coming back here real soon. And while he does that, I'm going to pull up some player props. He has them listed, but I'll go ahead and talk to him about it. Chat, help me out here. Pepper me with some questions, and we will be able to get the show on the road when we get Tyler back immediately. I hope it's immediately. Gosh, and now Bet Online wants to take forever to pull up. Sign Collectible says Foxbet has 210 for the San Francisco money line. Sammy. Should be a great weekend for betting. Hey, Swaz, he says, hey, my guys, let's go. And then we lost one of them, but he will be back shortly, I hope. If not, this could be a quick show because I'll just basically break down the last game. Why are my prayer props taking forever to pull up? Come on, Bet Online. Right when I need you. But this is my fault for not being prepared. Tyler usually runs the props. I run these sides and totals. Hey, I could talk about the total real quick, though. Let us jump in on a total of 48 in this game. We know that we like the overs, right? We like over or unders in playoff games. We like unders in the playoff games. This is one of the few games that I really do like the over here. Yeah, Tyler doesn't have as much faith in Stafford as I do. I think that Stafford's a really good quarterback. Last week was the biggest game of his life. Now he gets to have the biggest game of his life all over again. I thought he acquitted himself fairly well. Not to mention, I do believe that Sean McVay's going to not put him in positions to look bad. And then, hey, Beckham made some great plays. He gets open. Cooper Kupp, Van Jefferson. I mean, you can't really just ignore Kupp there. Or if you try and double Kupp, they have enough weapons to move away from him. Hoping to get a message from Tyler here, man. Is he coming back soon? If not, we might just try this. Nope, no message from Tyler either. Did I get a Bet Online prop up? All right, so here's what we're going to do. My Bet Online player props do not want to pull up. You got to be kidding me, Bet Online. What I'll do is I'll break down the last game, and then hopefully we will get Tyler back. I'm only going to do the side in the total, though. So the last game of the evening, and this – it's just such a fantastic game. It's the Buffalo Bills heading to Kansas City to take on the Chiefs. They played in week 3. Buffalo absolutely smashed them. No, it was week 5, excuse me. Week 3, I think, was the Rams and the Buccaneers. Week 5 for the Chiefs and the Bills, where Buffalo put on a dominating performance. But if we look, the Kansas City Chiefs are a much better team back then. One thing to note, right? Don't hang your hat on that last result. They're missing Chris Jones. We've talked so far about how much Chris Jones means to this Kansas City Chiefs team. And it was really just too bad that he missed out on that game. And I think that's kind of skewing the result it's had. I think it's a very interesting, everyone's going to be talking about the quarterbacks, right? And sometimes, they talk about the quarterbacks too much. In this game, not so much. I mean, these two guys are going to be electric. And you could really say that their individual performances will probably dictate the winner. And by saying that, I'm going to tell you, I want the guy that's done it before. Okay, I want the guy that's proven it to me that he can get it done. Obviously, Josh Allen has a lot to prove, and if he gets this win, he'll take this argument right away from me. So he knows that. He's going to be ready for that. But I still trust Patrick Mahomes a little bit more. This line's pretty low. It's -2 right now. It was 2.5. I think the Bills will take a little bit more money, and then I think there's going to be a lot of guys like me. And hey, maybe we're the square guys. I hope that's not the case, but maybe it is, and we'll find out on Sunday evening. But I think the Chiefs are going to be popular right before the game, right? So I would say, if you like the Bills, wait. If you like the Chiefs, bet it now. I think they'll probably be back to 2.5 by the time they kick off, because there's going to be a lot of people like me that just say, hey, look, I've seen Patrick do it before. I haven't seen Josh do it yet. Until I've seen Josh do it, I'm not going to bet on him. I'll go ahead and take Mahomes. And with those weapons, and hey, oh man, I wish Tyler was here. Tyler, in the chat, are you going to have time to come back, or do you want to just try and redo this like at a different time? Let me know. What I was going to say here about Kansas City, they're playing so much better than they were earlier this time. Kelsey and Hill, of course, the ultimate weapons. But McCole Hardman's a guy that, hey, and I stashed him in one of my fantasy leagues, didn't do much for me. But towards the end of the year, it seemed like they really found out how to use him. He could be that number 3 elusive weapon that I've talked about all season that the Kansas City Chiefs did not have. Also, Clyde Edwards-Helaire is back, so that'll be an interesting running back committee back there. Gives you more options for Andy Reid. And my question was going to be, who do you think is the better coach, right? Andy Reid or Sean McDermott? 5 to 10 of me talking. All right, let's see if I can do it. Andy Reid or Sean McDermott, man. So this one is so tough, right? We know what Andy Reid likes to do, right? He likes to throw the ball, pass, keep this thing going. Where Sean McDermott, I think he's more of a defensive coach, right? And he's designed a great defense in Buffalo. Last year, they weren't that good. The year before, they were excellent. Now they've returned to being pretty excellent, right? Which is kind of weird because I don't think they've had much turnover on their roster the past 3 years. So we do have to remember there is that element of randomness in the NFL. But from what I've seen from this team this year, the Buffalo Bills have a really good defense, and they've shown it so far. They have Tre'Davious White, one of the best cornerbacks in the NFL. And, of course, when you're able to shut down one side of the field, that makes it easier. The question is, can he shut down Tyreek Hill? Because Tyreek Hill is one of those guys, right? Skills don't matter. Where you put your hips don't matter. The guy's just so fast. So I'll be interested to see that. And then, of course, how do the Bills handle Kelsey down the middle? Do they have the linebackers and safeties to shut him down? I don't know about shut him down, but I think it's a pretty good matchup there. I like the way that they're using coverage with the safeties and the linebackers from the Bills. Let's flip it around. Dawson Knox, a big part, right? Even though he's not a big name, he's kind of a GPP filler when they're filling out the DFS lineups on runpuresports.com, right? He's a great guy to fill in because he gets a lot of red zone targets. Are the Chiefs going to be able to stop that attack? Honey Badger, great safety. He's pretty small to try and be covering Dawson Knox. That is a rough task. Then we go ahead and look at the Buffalo Bills running game, right? I'd say it's definitely the weakness of their offense, right? But where does running the ball really matter? It's in the red zone and we were trying to keep the lead. We'll worry about keeping the lead later. Let's worry about trying to get the lead. And that's where I think sometimes the Buffalo Bills issues with running the ball are kind of overblown or overrated, right? Because once you get into the red zone, Josh Allen can run the ball, right? And that's all you need. You need a running threat in the red zone to really be effective as an NFL team in 2022. So I don't think that, even though I'm not a big fan of Devin Singletary, Zach Moss is a guy that I thought was going to be really good. I take the L there. Maybe he gets there like Rashad Penny, but I doubt it. He seems like he's just going to be like an average back. But Josh Allen is kind of elite. And you know what is really rough there is if you hold your coverage for a long time, Josh Allen could still go ahead and take that away from you with a well-timed run. And then, of course, the planned quarterback draws gives Sean McDermott and Brian Dable, who's the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills, so many more options in the red zone. And as we've seen, both these teams are going to be able to move from the 2020. It's really going to be the ability to execute in the red zone. So I think they have great options on both sides, right? Because I got Kelsey for the Chiefs side, and then, of course, the brilliance of Mahomes on the other side. I can run Josh Allen in the red zone, and I can also go to Dawson Knox. Stefan Diggs, more of a big-name player. Cole Beasley gets open underneath zones. Will he be able to get it done in the red zone? Not so sure. But if they do put the clamps on Diggs, they do put the clamps on Beasley, and look what happens. You have Josh Allen running in. Let's talk about what I think is one of the most people don't notice this guy, and he means so much to the team. It's Emmanuel Sanders, the third wide receiver for the Buffalo Bills. But Emmanuel Sanders is a guy that every quarterback needs. You want to know why he gets open on third downs? He gets open on third downs. And we talked earlier, right, about when the 49ers made the Super Bowl in 2019. I thought he was an underrated feature of that team, and I thought their offense dropped off a lot, losing him in 2020. And I couldn't believe they let him go after he provided so much. But the San Francisco 49ers loss was the Buffalo Bills gain as they were able to add Emmanuel Sanders. And I think he means so much to that option because now you have, Diggs is going to be your number one option, right? He's going to be your number one target. He's going to draw the double coverage. And that's fantastic because he can even beat double coverage sometimes, right? You got Cole Beasley, right? And I hate to be stereotypical, right? But he runs his little underneath routes. He gets loose in the zone. He's kind of your underneath route as Diggs is stretching the field. That allows things for Beasley to open up. And then what's the old meme that they like to put on there? Get you a man who can do both. And I feel like Emmanuel Sanders is that. While he doesn't stretch the field like he used to, obviously you lose a step in your 30s. He's so good working underneath that zone. Now you have two different options with Diggs taking you over the top, and you can see how well that they are able to do moving the ball up and down the field. You add in Josh Allen's running on those third and longs, and this is a really tough offense to stop. Going back to more reasons why if all the games, right, I had to take just one over, this would be the game. I would take the over, and I think a lot of people are going to think that too. So if you do agree and you want to get in on that over, I would play that right now because I do believe that there's money going there. Who wants to bet the under in this game? Right? I mean, you gotta really love pain, right? You gotta really, if you bet the under in this game, you're almost thinking, you know what? Everything's going really good in my life. Like, let me just mess it up somehow. I need to just manufacture some stress because, everything's just going so great. You're probably eating grapes and getting fanned, right? Like those old Roman emperors, to be in the situation where you'd want to bet the under in this game. I think this is going to be really tough. And I think you could make an argument, right? So I do have that Titans future, right? But I think you can make the argument that the winner of this game probably makes the Super Bowl. It'll be interesting to see. They will have to travel to Tennessee. Whoever wins this is going to be the talk of the NFL. I mean, unless it's just an absolute blowout and, we have a nail-biter, exciting game, kind of like, the 49ers Cowboys was last week. Canadian internet, he's in Pennsylvania. This is Pennsylvania internet, Damon, that we are waiting for. But, boy, that's a long time resetting. We'll give them another 5 minutes, and then I'll end my monologue. But I was just kind of talking about, where do we go from here if we see this? So there's a couple interesting matchups that we discussed. So Tyler really likes Tampa. I like the Rams. Wouldn't that be crazy if the 49ers win against the Rams again? Right? They just keep beating them. And if they get met in the NFC Championship game, I think that would be the dream. Of course, Tampa Green Bay would be the rematch of what was that? Was that the second round game or the championship game last year? Regardless, right? Tampa Bay beat Green Bay in the playoffs last season, and that was a wonky one, right? Where you get that score right at the end of the half, the messed up punt, and then of course the weird field goal. So people would love to see a rematch of that. San Francisco Tampa Bay would be a really tough one for me to handicap. Yeah, I think it was the NFC Championship too, Damon, if I remember right, because we had Green Bay, and we thought that we were going to get that Green Bay Kansas City Super Bowl. We did not. And then I thought the Chiefs were going to win against Brady. So that's why you don't count this guy Tom Brady out. Boy, it'll be interesting to see how all this turns out. Tennessee Titans, of course. I mean, I think they're a team that's undervalued all year, right? Like even the fact that I was getting the number one seed potentially at 10-1 just shows you, right? Because you look at the other side, right? For the Packers to make the Super Bowl, it was plus 175 in week 18. And Titans are the number one seed potentially on the other side, and they're 10-1. I mean, you got to be kidding me. And if you look at the team, what's their weakness? Like the secondary, you can call the secondary the weakness of a lot of teams. 49ers have a weak secondary. Green Bay's got a pretty good secondary, but like any other team, they drop off once they get to their nickel. I'd say Buffalo's got a great secondary. Chiefs, I'd say it's average, right? I mean, you can't have Daniel Sorensen on the field. Great thing is Honey Badger is a playmaker in the new NFL. It's almost better to have playmakers than guys that just constantly get in coverage. And hopefully we don't see a lot of BS pass interference calls. One thing I also wanted to mention, pass interference brings it up. The guy that is officiating, I can't remember the name off the top of my head. I got this from listening to the deep dive. He calls for the home team a lot, and he does not like pass interference. But guess what, guys? The show's nightmare is over. The monologue is over. The man is back. Tyler, I tried to hold it down for everybody watching. I gave my thoughts on all types of things.
You can hear me fine, right?
Yep, you are back. Okay. We are great.
Because my computer told me for a second that I was disconnected from the internet again. I was like, if it shuts off again, the computer might hit the wall.
If it shuts off again, yeah, and I'm going to go ahead and log off too and enjoy some tennis because the people have heard enough from me. And you know what's really bad about it, Tyler? They tune in to see you.
And then my internet just wants to die.
With you. Yeah.
Great job, Comcast.
Yeah. All right, we were talking about the Rams and the Bucs. I like the Rams. You like the Buccaneers, and you're in the middle of your breakdown when we lost you. Go ahead, just take it from the top.
Rams I was just saying, Brady's just gonna have to play a Brady game here. Stafford's gonna screw it up. He's gonna throw a couple costly picks. Mm-hmm. Their run game they had last week against Arizona, I don't see it working as well against Tampa Bay here.
Of course.
And also them missing the safety here is going to be big. And I know you were saying Donald's going to be a big thing here. I think he's going to use the same idea used against them in the Super Bowl, where they go like a hurry-up offense kind of. Mm-hmm. Keep those defensive linemen moving and Aaron Donald tired, who's also hurt this week. You tire him out quickly in the first quarter playing at 100 miles an hour, a lot less effective the rest of the game. So I could definitely see them doing that. Fournette's back. The defense is getting back together. Give me Tampa in this one. Stafford's not winning this big playoff game here.
Remember, though, in that Super Bowl, it was 13-3, right? I would say if I told you Tampa Bay has 13 as their team total, wouldn't you want to be on the Rams side? The Rams aren't getting less than 13 points this week, right?
I mean, it's tough playing a defense like that.
But just like we talk about attacking the secondaries, Tampa Bay secondary is pretty weak too.
It is, but it's getting a couple guys back this week.
Okay.
So I trust. It's the same. I just trust Brady more than Stafford in this situation.
I mean, who doesn't?
Yeah, if it comes
Brady
down
more than any quarterback, right?
Yeah.
You just insert any quarterback in there. All right, the guys have heard me talk enough about this game. That was your breakdown, but give them the winning props. That's what they want to hear.
Yeah, let me pull them up real quick. I was looking at those. The touchdown scores, of course. Gronk at even money. Give me that. Keyshawn Vaughn, who's getting a lot more carries out of the backfield. He'll also be a little scat back with Giovanni Bernard here. Plus 115. I like that. And then on the other side, Tyler Higbee plus 230 to catch a touchdown. I don't mind that at all.
I like that.
And then
what did they put Cup's yards at?
Cup's yards are at 99.5.
I knew it was going to be at 100 again. I mean, who bets that under?
Yeah, I mean, if
because
there's ever,
it was like I said earlier, you got to just want stress in your life.
Yeah, it's not a thing. But are you running to bet an over 99? No.
So it's a great job by the bookmakers.
Yep. But looking at this, I mean, Van Jefferson 35.5 yards. He could do that one catch. I like that.
Definitely.
Let's pull up their longest receptions. Cooper Kupp's 27.5, Van Jefferson at 18.5. He's caught in a lot of balls for 20 plus yards this season. He's the guy to break the seam on this defense. I'll gladly take that over 18.5 on his longest reception.
I'm so disappointed the Rams didn't sign AB just for this week. Mike 87 Cush agrees with me. He says the middle pressure is Brady's kryptonite. Tampa's line looking sketchy. What do you think about that, Tyler?
I mean, they got some guys banged up, but I think they're going to play this week. And if it was 100% healthy Aaron Donald, I'd be more into it, but he's not healthy either. So they get him worked into a spot.
Is anyone healthy this time of year?
I mean, some guys are.
Yeah. And what do I know? I just hear people say that all the time. So, all right. Anything else on that game before? I mean, I really monologued the last game, so we'll want to hear your thoughts on that one. Anything more from the Tampa game, though?
No, I mean, that's it for me on that one. I didn't see much else in that one I really liked. We'll look at them game specials real quick.
All right. Yeah. Pull up the game specials.
Well, here's one that sticks out right off the bat. I think we'll both agree on this. Matthew Stafford and Tom Brady to combine for 550 plus passing yards and to combine for 5 plus passing touchdowns. I think Brady's probably good for 3 of those touchdowns and 275 of those yards. Stafford's playing catch up in my scenario, so I like that bet.
I mean, I can't go against it. I think they did a good job lining it, though. That is pretty high.
It is high, but you're combining them, though.
Yeah. And what you're hoping there for really is for like a blowout.
You want
a team to get ahead by 14 so the other guy can just rack up yards.
Yep.
Right? You want Brady to hit 4 if you're on the Tampa side, you want Brady to hit 4 touchdowns so Stafford can get you 300-something yards working against a prevent. If it's a close game, I think that's tough, and this is a close game. Very interesting. Yeah, I'm trying not to get too distracted, but Clara Tossin did just get the break for assigned collectibles. All right, so you like that one, over 55 yards or 550 yards, 5 touchdowns. What else do we like?
Fournette to score 1 touchdown in each half. I mean, playoff Lenny is back. He might rush one in the first quarter, and if they're up late, he might pound one in the end zone late too. 10-1, I'll gladly take a shot on that.
10-1, yeah. I was gonna say you better give out a huge number there. Yeah, that's a tough one to hit.
You want a huge number, and this is for like your guys, your Ram backers.
Yeah, let's do it. Yeah, my guys are here. We're here.
If we think the Rams just come in, say they go up 14-0. What if they get down there and it's both Cam Akers goes in first and twice? 85-1.
But it has to be the first 2 or just 2 total?
He's got to be the first and the second. Like they got to go up 14-0.
That's crazy.
If you're big on the Rams this week, though, you could see him driving down the field, punching one in. They do it again real quick.
For that, you're basically saying I'm big on pass interference calls, right?
Yeah, you're banking on that.
That's how you get there, right?
Or
they'll
he
get you a
like
flag.
one of them wheel routes or something.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, an 85-1 though, right? I mean,
I mean,
you hit that once, you can bet it for like the rest of your life, and you're still breaking even there, right? So, all right, I love that play. Anything else from there before we move on to?
They have other game specials. We'll look through these because these ones have, you could do one guy on each side. Like this guy scores the first touchdown for Tampa. This guy scores the first touchdown for the Rams. So let's see. We have Mike Evans to score the first touchdown and Cooper Kupp to score the second touchdown, 48-1. That can realistically
think I like those better than taking one guy twice.
Yeah. I think that could realistically happen. Higbee to score the first Rams touchdown, Gronk to score the first Tampa touchdown, 36-1. I like the receivers better.
Yeah, I do too.
And let's see if they have one on the running backs. Yeah. Fournette to score the first touchdown and Cam Akers to score the second. Or you could they have both of these. You could flip-flop them. So Cam Akers scores first, Fournette scores second. Both 70-1.
Wow.
I think those are both worth sprinkles.
Yeah. How about this one from Sign Collectibles in the chat? That one got me thinking as soon as he posted it. Every team to make a field goal plus 280.
My only worry there is the Green Bay game. It's good. The weather. It could
you
be
got Robbie Gould on one side and Crosby
he might bang a couple.
Those are good kickers.
Crosby hasn't looked good this year though, spread.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, yeah, plus 280 though, almost 3-1. And you know what? That might be something you just do small, just to give you something to root for, regardless of what's going on in the games. I actually like the way he's thinking there, even though Tyler's a little worried about it. Do you want to move to the main event?
Yeah, we can move right to the main event.
I
that
mean,
was the only one that
stuck out to me. This is the main event of the weekend, right? I mean, we agree on that, right?
Yeah,
this is the one game you have to see, right? If you're married with children and you can only get 3 hours away from the wife, I think this is the game that you're going to pencil in to get some quiet time. The Buffalo Bills catching 2 in Kansas City. Tyler, they've heard my thoughts. Let's hear yours.
I was on Buffalo at first, and when the number was 3, and everyone's just been lining up to bet Buffalo, and we've seen what happens in this situation.
It's going back, though, if they like Buffalo. It'll go back.
But
all the spread guys are going to come in.
Yeah, but when you see there's this weird trend where it's like when there's like 75+% amount of the money in the tickets on against Kansas City with Mahomes under center, they cover the game and just blow them out. They're like 8-0 in that spot. I was all over Buffalo, but I can't do it now lining up against that. I just got to back Kansas City here.
Wow, that's what flipped you?
I just don't.
That might be the craziest breakdown I've ever heard.
Yeah, but it's weird. But this game is a coin flip to me too. I like Buffalo.
It's tough. Yeah.
But now it's like that. You know how there was the underdog last week, San Fran. They were the popular underdog. They almost blew it,
but they won.
I don't think the popular underdog's going to do it again this week. Spread.
Well, I hope you're right because I like Kansas City in this game as well. Buffalo is definitely better. If you go by DVOA and all that stuff. Okay, so that's a cool trend, but come on, give them a real breakdown because I did it myself, and you're better at seeing that stuff.
The other thing too is look back at that game they played against the Patriots. Are you going to reproduce that game or play a better game than that? That was the perfect game of football. You didn't punt the ball once. You scored a touchdown every drive. Allen missed 3 passes.
And it's a completely different team, right?
Exactly, too. Yeah, it's just a different matchup.
Yeah.
Their pass defense is when you're playing Mac Jones, your pass defense doesn't have to be that good. Well, now Mahomes is going to air it out. Their defense should be able to get some pressure on Allen, and we've seen him make costly mistakes before. So, in this tight of a game, just give me Kansas City spread.
All right. Well, we agree on that one. Let's check on these other 2 that Sign Collectibles found. So he's in there and he's searching these cool props the same way that you do, and that'll give you time to pull up some props as well while I'm peppering you with questions. This seems pretty cool because, it's once again, once you start getting these huge numbers, it's really hard for me to say, no, don't bet that. Every team to have a rushing TD plus 2,800.
I don't hate it. There's the only team I think maybe screws you there is Cincinnati. They just throw for maybe 4 touchdowns.
Or Buffalo.
Yeah. Well, yeah, but the only thing about Buffalo is Josh Allen will run one in himself.
Yeah.
So that's where you could luck out
I'd be
there.
worried that one team just didn't score a touchdown. There's always that stinker of the week, right, that we're not expecting. How about every team touchdown and field goal plus 500? I like the other one a little better because that plus 500, that's not.
If you could just get every team to score a touchdown, but the thing about that line, it's going to be probably minus 150.
Plus 150? No, it's got to be a little plus money. That's 6 touchdowns.
Yeah, but that's not a lot.
Let's play a football. Yeah, I guess you're right. Sign Collectibles, if you find that one, let us know. All right, those were the props from the chat. What are the props from Tyler?
I'm definitely taking Mahomes over 2.5 passing touchdowns, seeing as though he threw 5 in 11 minutes a game span last game.
Yeah.
In this Buffalo team, yes, they're built to stop the pass, but they're missing their biggest weapon in Tre'Davious White.
He's not playing? I had him in my breakdown earlier.
I'm almost positive he's out.
I'm terrible with injuries this week. I'm sorry, guys. I've been staying up.
He's been out for a while. I'm pretty sure he's out for the season.
That one, okay. I thought so too when it came out on my mouth.
Unless it's something just passed me over.
No, I think you're right. You look it up, and I'm going to double check it. I'm just embarrassed that I put him in my breakdown earlier.
Yeah, but I definitely like him, Tyreek Hill, to have a big game. Yeah, I had to stop it. Every team touchdown is minus 225 spread. Yeah, we just
You're right. ACL, he's out for the year. That was embarrassing by me. Every team for touchdown is minus 225.
Yeah, you can't bet that one. But Tyreek Hill over 70.5 receiving yards without White on the field. Give me that. I definitely think he's going over that. Pringles slowly emerged as that number 2 option over 33.5. I like that also.
Okay.
And then Diggs over 69.5. I also like that one because I think Josh Allen's going to throw the ball. This could be a very high scoring game. Mm-hmm. And how about Tyreek Hill most yards this weekend, 12-1? I like that. Yeah. I like that a lot because everyone's basing it on Devontae Adams and Jamar Chase like it's a 2-man race.
Yeah.
Hill can catch like an 80-yard touchdown and then go catch another one. And all of a sudden, he's ahead of everybody in 2 catches. So 12-1, I'm definitely going to have some money on that.
Let's just say I said, okay, don't look at the odds. Who do you think is most likely to have the most yards? Who would you say?
Adams? It would be Adams, and then I would say Adam. The list would go Adams, Cup, Chase, Hill.
Okay.
Maybe Evan sneaks his way in there above them guys somehow, but that Tyreek Hill 12-1, I like that.
Hey, do you have DK pulled up? This might be fun.
I can.
Quarterback and wide receiver matchups head-to-head for most yards. Let's pull that up, and then we'll call it a show.
Okay, I'm open.
Unless we have more chat. We're always going to answer the chat questions, but yeah, I think that's a lot of fun. Let's do that.
Yeah, I'm opening the app now, but yeah, for sure, the Tyreek Hill one. And then looking at the rushing yards for Mahomes, big games, the dude always uses his legs. I love his rushing yards up to about like 25.5 in this spot. Yeah. Right, let me find these head-to-heads.
I mean, I think Mahomes becomes another option in the red zone, and it's funny because that's so similar. I think that these teams are on offense. Obviously, a little bit different weapons where Buffalo is more balanced at wide receiver, where Kansas City is the tight end wide receiver duo. But both teams in the red zone, their quarterback's going to look to run. And so it's so tough as a defense because even if you play good coverage and you hold your coverage for 4 to 5 seconds, quarterback just takes off.
What if I told you I was wrong and Cooper Kupp is 5th on that list and Devontae Adams is 3rd?
AJ Brown?
Nope.
It can't be a Buccaneer. Chase and Higgins can't both be. Diggs?
Nope. He's a tight end.
Kittle?
Kelsey.
Oh, well, Kelsey, yeah, I'm stupid. I'm sorry, I'm stupid. I actually like Kelsey better than Kittle better as Kelsey than the player, but that's
I see our guy Otter saying he's fading Hill. I just think he hasn't had that explosion game in a while. Yeah. I think this is that spot. I think he's going to do it here.
Yeah.
No Tre'Davious White to shadow him and keep him away from it. Their safeties also aren't going to make them crazy interceptions they made against Mac Jones, who threw a lollipop to the end zone that floated like a punt. Mahomes is going to dart that thing in there. So, yeah, Tyreek Hill's going to have a big game on Sunday night.
All right. Love to see that. Did you they still have a good secondary. He says
they Kelsey. Do, but it's not the same. It's not one man that's like a lockdown guy bouncing around and chasing him to where now they can move him around and he could draw the third corner to where everyone's lined up in their spots.
Right.
And you don't want him going against the third corner.
No, I don't even want him going against my best corner, and I'm a Raiders fan. All right. He said go to division specials and the division matchups. Did you find that for those head-to-heads?
You said division specials?
Yeah. Wow. Here's a fun one. While you look that up, I'm going to check with the chat. Nick DePalma, what's up, Nick? You've been hanging out today. We always appreciate you hanging out and being supportive. And I think you had a great comment here. Any 3 of Kelsey, Diggs, Gronk, and A.J. Brown to score 2+ TDs. Is 85-1. I like that, right? That's kind of like
the only thing I wish, Brett, is we can swap AJ Brown for Derrick Henry. Because if he's back, he's going to dominate this team without that defensive tackle in the middle.
Do you think that Cincinnati is a better run defense or pass defense, though?
They have a better run defense, but when you're missing a guy that clogs the middle,
good point.
It's going to be hard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of people liking Adams here.
Specials pulled up, though, if you're ready.
Let's hear it. Yeah, let's go straight to that.
I'll just go straight down the list. Derrick Henry plus Joe Mixon to combine for 150 plus rushing yards, minus 105.
Wait,
I think there's a good chance that it hits.
Derrick Henry plus Joe Mixon, what?
150 plus rushing yards combined.
And what's
75 apiece.
What's the number?
150 minus 105.
And either of those guys could get there on their own?
Yeah.
I think they could, right? I mean, if we're sitting here talking and I lose my Titans bet,
Henry could crack 150.
Mixon could too.
Yeah, I just don't like the matchup here, but he definitely could.
Okay, I'll give you the game script right now. Chase, Higgins, whatever, they get out to 21-0. Then it's Mixon time.
Yeah, that is true.
You know, and it's not that crazy that Joe Burrow and those awesome weapons, maybe the best offense in the NFL right now. I know Kansas City's pretty good, but that Cincinnati offense is really good, right? Good chance those guys get out to an early lead. I don't hate that there.
I like that. All right, okay. Jamar Chase and AJ Brown to combine for 3+ touchdowns plus 750. See, I mean, maybe my worry here that I'm not one is Derrick Henry.
I mean, you're getting 8-1, but that's priced right. There's no edge there. All right, what else?
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, AJ Brown, and Julio Jones each to have 50 plus receiving yards plus 500. Julio's going to screw you because his hammy's going to go out on his first catch.
All right. Sign Collectibles says, Tyler, if you scroll to the right, the last one is the head-to-head.
Okay.
So then you basically just be like AJ Brown versus Jamar Chase. Okay.
Yeah, I was going to read through these, and then we'll go to those.
Some of those, they seem like these are all priced right. They seem like they're fun, but I don't know if we're going to find an edge here.
Joe Burrow or Ryan Tannehill to have 350 plus passing yards plus 230. I don't like that one.
You can only bet that if you think it's a blowout. The only way guys getting 350 is the same way like Ben did against the Chiefs, right?
All right, well, now we're on to the San Fran game spread. Aaron Jones and Elijah Mitchell to combine for 2+ rushing touchdowns plus 250. I'm betting that.
But don't they go to Dylan in the red zone?
Sometimes that's my only worry though is Dylan eats you up, but I think you're good. I think Elijah Mitchell's scoring 2. So there's your 2 right there.
Okay.
Devontae Adams to have a 50+ yard touchdown reception. Nah, I'm not betting that. Even though it's plus 400.
No, I don't even think that there's probably value on the no there.
Debo over 150.5 combined rushing and receiving yards plus 350. I think that number's a bit high.
Over combined what?
150.5.
That's too much.
Yeah, too high. And then they tried to trick you with this one. George Kittle plus Debo over 174.5 combined receiving yards plus 550. We all know Debo is going to chunk off the yards on the ground now, so I'm not betting that.
Yeah. Give me some of those head-to-heads.
Yeah, let's jump to the head-to-heads because these are just basically the same things, just different guys plugged in.
Those are just long shots, and you guys can have some fun with them, but I don't think we're going to be able to find a value there.
Yep. And then, all right, here we go. Most passing yards, match bet, divisional weekend. Joe Burrow versus Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers is even money. Joe Burrow minus 120.
I want Burrow. What do you think?
Give me Rodgers against the worst pass defense. Burrow could legit only have 12 minutes of offensive playing time this whole game.
Same thing with Rodgers, though. What if our game script plays out and the Niners have 37 minutes of time of possession?
Yeah, I mean, it could be both ways, but I just trust them more.
Okay, well, we're opposite there. That'll be fun.
If both teams are getting dominated like that, don't you trust Green Bay to at least throw a bit more and Rodgers?
No, because Rodgers will just start pounding again and start planning on where he's going to play next year.
You're probably right.
Burrow's going to fight till the end.
I still got to roll with the guy there. I got to roll.
No, and that's fine. And that's fine. And neither of us are going to bet it, but we'll definitely send a message and see who gets right because I think that's a fun one. These are fun. Give me another one.
Tannehill versus Jimmy G, both minus 110.
Tannehill.
Yeah, I'm taking Tannehill.
All right. What else you got?
Stafford versus Josh Allen. Stafford's minus 125. Give me Josh Allen because that game's going to shoot out.
Oh, yeah. I think I got to go Allen there too. Give me the next one.
Brady versus Mahomes. Brady's minus 115. The comeback's minus 105.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
How are you not taking Mahomes there?
Yeah, give me Mahomes.
That's the best bet out of all of them we made.
My only worry though is Brady throws the ball so much. Like they're not going to run. Like he's going to throw the ball 49 times tomorrow.
Yeah, I don't care. I still want Mahomes there. I think that final score on the Bills Chiefs could be 10 points higher than the final score in the Rams and Bucks. I guess this is yards, so it may not matter that much. But boy, I'd much rather have Mahomes there.
All right, now we're on to receiving yards. Devontae Adams versus Jamar Chase. Devontae Adams minus 170, Chase plus 130.
At that number, you got to take Chase.
Yeah,
you can't lay it with Devontae going against Chase, who's just been unbelievable.
T. Higgins versus Debo. T. Higgins minus 140, Debo plus 115. The worry there is Debo gets all his yards on the ground.
And who was that against T. Higgins? Higgins only had like one catch last week.
He had 4 targets, 1 catch, 1 yard. But you got to think that was just like a anomaly game. You know what I mean? Like Chase was just on fire. Like why change up what was working last week?
That's a good point. All right. And guys, I see your great questions in the chat. We're going to go through this little exercise and then we will answer.
This last one is going to be my bet though, spread. Not this one I'm reading, but the next one.
Okay. Well, let's get to it.
The second to last one, Stefan Diggs versus Mike Evans, minus 110 across the board.
Diggs.
Give me Diggs.
Yeah, that's easy too.
This one, Cooper Kupp versus Tyreek Hill. Cooper Kupp minus 200, Tyreek Hill plus 155. Give me Hill.
At that now, if it was minus 110, you take
every day.
Kupp. Yeah, but at that
I'm still taking Hill, and I like the matchup.
No matter what.
Yes.
Wow.
I think that 12-1, when you pointed that out, you see how quick I was to stop my breakdown.
Yeah.
I like that bet. He's going to have a big game this week. That plus 155 is going to cash. That 12-1 is going to cash. He's going to have like 160 yards this week.
Man, and our guy Damon's not going to be happy because he's paying him in DFS. So that's going to be interesting to see how it turns out. Any more of those, or you want to talk to the chat real quick?
Yeah, that was it for the divisional things I was seeing. We could do like highest scoring team, lowest scoring team. That was the only other things I see.
Let's do that, and then I'm going to go through here and mention all what these guys have been saying.
You just want to throw your team out that you think is the highest scoring? You want me to read the odds?
Let me think. The highest scoring team. I mean, gosh, I kind of want to attack the Cincinnati defense there, but I do think the Buffalo-Kansas City game is going to be a shootout, and you get the ball back faster if the other team scores quickly. Give me the Kansas City Chiefs.
3 plus 330. They're the favorite.
Okay, who would you take?
I kind of liked your take on the Titans 7-1.
Because you're going against the worst defense, right?
Yeah, and if he chunks off a 2 big giant runs and scores touchdowns on them, like they're just going to keep rolling.
All right.
Lowest scoring team. I like the Rams. 4-1. Everyone's going to pick the Niners.
What about taking the Packers? What are they at?
The Packers are 9-1.
That's probably my bet at that number.
Yeah. And then
go ahead.
Only other things I see are the most rushing yards, and we could do most passing, most rushing, most receiving yards.
Let's hear them.
Most passing yards, Brady's plus 400, Mahomes 425, Burrow 5.
You know where I'm going here, right?
Allen 5-1, Stafford 5-1, Rodgers 6-1.
I mean, I'll just call State Farm and change my insurance right now.
Yeah, plus 425. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Most receiving yards, 13-1, Tyreek Hill. I'm taking that all day, every day.
Okay. Where's AJ Brown on that if I want to get different? Do I get like a 21 to there? 20-1?
Same thing, 13-1.
Oh, I'd rather that.
And if you want to go Diggs, it's 13-1.
Wow. All right. Well, lucky number 13.
To get into the 20-1s, you're going into like a T. Higgins, a Gronk, an Odell, or an Ayuk. Most rushing yards, Derrick Henry plus 175 or Elijah Mitchell plus 400. I think that's the only two guys you can bet.
At the numbers, you have to take Mitchell there.
Yeah.
You have to take Mitchell there. Derrick Henry might not even be 100%. And if he's not, then you're getting let's say you knew Henry was going to either not be 100% or have a limited workload. That plus 400. Oh, wow. I like that a lot.
Do we think there's a fat guy touchdown this week? Offensive lineman?
No.
No, let's say 8-1. And do we think any game has a chance of going to overtime?
Yes.
3-1.
That's a fun one.
Yeah, I think that's
kind of fun, right? Yeah.
And then they're asking in the chat, all these props are on DraftKings when you go in, and it's right in the divisional specials tab.
All right. Let's go through the chat real quick and And they're just to see what they've checked in. So Damon, it's kind of against our little handicap here. He says he's all over Adams for DFS major ownership, and of course we're not DFS experts. But my only thing is, I mean, he's got to be high, right, as far as the ownership. So
especially against his secondary already torched this year.
Yeah. So Damon also said Mixon hasn't looked good to me. Yeah, and that's the other concern there, right? He rolled his ankle against the Raiders. You saw him get taped on the sideline, but I didn't feel he was explosive as he came back in. I think it was the second half, though, so he couldn't go into the locker room and get that magical shot that they have. I'll bet you it'll look good at the beginning of the game. Let's see how long it goes. GT Randy, what do you think of this comment here? Tyler, he says Bengals will be lucky to score 21 points.
I mean, the more you talk about Mixon's injury, he could be right because Samaj Piran isn't going to run this ball and set up a run game for them.
Yeah, he's such a downgrade.
So if they're just able to drop back and just sit
how do you cover Jamar Chase other than double coverage him?
Yeah, but if you're able to just sit back and that's the only thing you know they could beat you, you bracket them like they do Tyreek Hill sometimes.
Yeah, but the Chiefs knew that and they gave up 34.
Yeah, but we'll see.
All right.
It's different when it's a regular season game too.
Maybe I overrate the Bengals because we were so down on them and then they just kept giving it to me and I said, okay. I admit you guys are pretty good. Otter says, let's go back to Higgins and DFS after he bombed last week. I think that's a great idea.
I don't hate that at all.
Yeah, I think that's a great idea. Mike says, I think Cincy will be playing from behind and throwing the ball more. I hope you're right because I'm on that Tennessee ticket. Richie Smalls, thank you so much for reminding me. We've got an hour. I even got a monologue and I didn't ask the people to hit the like. But Richie's here reminding me to do the job. Hey, guys, hit the like, subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. And let's go to Kevin's comment. I think GB ramps up Aaron Jones' usage big time. What do you think of that one, Tyler?
Yeah, I can definitely see it because they weren't using him much all year. They were kind of trickling Dylan in there. And it's almost like they were saving him for the playoffs. So I could definitely see him getting a big
and that's smart, right? You see some of these guys getting worn down.
Yep.
Right? Yeah. I think you're onto something there, Kevin. And this was about Devontae Evans. I just remember from when it came in, and it was about the 50-plus yard, and he said he's more of a 35.
Yeah, the 50 yards. That's a deep ball.
All right, so that was fun, but I definitely wanted to get to this one. This was from Richie again. He likes Ayuk under on the receptions. I hadn't really thought about this. Obviously, he's a really popular guy here in Northern California with the way he's been playing lately, right? So, Richie, I won't let my friends and neighbors know that you're going to bet that. But what do you think of it, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate it. My only worry, though, is he runs a lot of short routes. And if they just key on Kittle and Debo, he could be that guy that just eats them up. Yeah.
All right. That could be an issue there. So we'll see how that one turns out. Richie, sorry we don't have a stronger take on that. Damon agrees with that was about Aaron Jones. And I think I like where you're going here. But I wonder how popular do you think this is? And, of course, you'll have to tune in to Big T and those guys to get a better opinion there. Rodgers, Mitchell, Jones, Adams. So that sounds great, but my worry there, right? Doesn't it seem like a lot of people would stack that? Or
no, everyone's going to stack Buffalo, Kansas City this week.
Oh, okay. Well, then, hey, stack it up, Damon. Tyler's giving you the blessing. He says the ownership will not be too high. What do you think of this one, Tyler? I don't know if you have the number up, but it's an A.J. Brown anytime TD.
No, I like that for sure. You're definitely getting plus money on it. I'm not sure the exact number. My guess is somewhere around like plus 135 to about plus 150. I'd gladly bet that.
Especially if Henry's back and they're keen on him.
Yep. Right? Play action pass off of him setting up the run for 2.5 quarters, and he's just running by himself down the sideline.
The thing is, so let's say you bet that, right? And you sit down, you watch the game or whatever you're doing, and Henry rips off like an 8-yard run as the first play of the game. Doesn't that ticket just feel that much more valuable?
Yep. I feel great about this.
Because that's really what's going to happen. If Henry's not able to go. But even if he is, who's the guy that sits in? Devontae Foreman?
Dante Foreman.
Dante Foreman, excuse me. He's actually not that bad either. So maybe they can still establish it and A.J. Brown gets there even if Henry's not 100%. Myron Kidd, always appreciate him jumping in. As a Packers fan, once again, I have a bad feeling about tomorrow. Well, yeah, they beat you in the playoffs the last 3 times. This isn't coming out of nowhere, Myron. This could be a little deja vu. He says, this 49ers team can run all over us. And of course, that's the weakness of the Packers when they played. Plus, the Packers' playoff history against San Francisco is putrid. Yeah, if you caught my little monologue, I had mentioned that as well. So, hey, I hate to say it, Myron, but I'm betting the Niners, so I hope that you're right. But hey, we'll give you props if your team gets there. Number 1 seed coming off a bye. Wouldn't be crazy if they were to get the win and also the cover. This was talking about when we were going Brady Mahomes, right? Was the head-to-head. And he says Brady's coming from behind yards are nasty. Yeah, right. You would never feel good about that one. Yeah. I love this question here from Richie Smalls, though. And I'm going to let you go first, Tyler, because I need some time to think about it. What game do you think blows out the over-under, and which one do you think is going to be a disappointment?
So by blows it out, can I go either direction?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's just a sweat-free cash from second quarter on. I'll start then. Well, you think it's Bills Chiefs. Bills Chiefs are going to go over by 10 points.
I was thinking the same. That's where I was leaning to, but the more I stare at this Tennessee game, I think the under is just going to soar under. I think it's going to be like 24-10.
Okay. I like that too. My one was going to be for under Packers-Niners, man. This is going to be cold up there.
See, the thing about that is like Kyle Shanahan, like he's coached great games before, especially against Matt LaFleur. Mm-hmm. Would it surprise you if he's almost like it looks like he has the guys on puppet strings and he's like moving defenders out of the way, and his guys are just running for like 50-yard gains, 30-yard touchdowns, and it's like all of a sudden you're at 21-24 and the total's cooked. So that's my only worry in that game.
Yeah. Brady always throws short passes. Yeah, but if he throws 50 of them, right, I'm going to lose that bet. I don't know who this was about. I try to keep up here. He has targets, but they just missed him. Damon, I'm trying to keep up. Debo versus Dylan rushing.
I didn't see one for that.
But if let's say it's up there and it's minus 110 on both sides, what would you take? I'd take
Give me Debo.
Okay, same here. What's up, Gerardo Hernandez? Thank you for hanging out. I was thinking Titans. Gosh, I can't. So we had a lot of these. Perfect rotation hanging out. What's up, my guy? And do love the avatar you rock on Twitter. I think Blake was a little late, but hey, we're here for the people. Where are you guys leaning in the Rams Bucks for the outright winner? Tyler and I were opposite. I like the Rams. And just real quick again, because they heard me talk enough, remind Blake why you like the Buccaneers.
I just like them because I think both teams are pretty much even. I don't trust that Rams pressure is going to be as good with them not being 100% healthy. I think Brady's just got to play a safe game here. Stafford will screw it up eventually. So I see a couple turnovers coming from the Rams side. That Akers game against the Cardinals was great, but you're not going to be able to run the ball against Tampa like that. So I think they get the job done. Could be an ugly one.
I mean, can you imagine if you had Ndamukong Suh and Vita Vea as the bouncers at your nightclub? That what a team those guys are. And Wes says, who's the lead back now for the Los Angeles Rams? How do we approach these props for Akers? And you know what, Tyler? I might not be a fan of the LA Lakers, but I do like LA Akers. Can you answer this one real quick? Because you're much better at this as far as who's getting the target.
He's the lead back. I'm like 85% sure he's the lead back.
Okay.
Now, mind you, the lead back could be he starts the game and then Sony Michel comes in the next drive and has 3 good runs. And Sean McVay is like, he's the hot hand today. Yeah. So you could have maybe a committee here a little bit. I think it all depends on who's running well that game. So, but I think they're going to start the game with Akers.
All right, and let's answer the next question, and this is specifically for you. How do we approach these props for Akers? Do you have any feel like if I said you have to bet Akers props, how would you be approaching them?
I'd bet his over on rushing attempts at 13.5 because I definitely think he's going to get 14 carries.
Okay.
And at 50.5 on his rushing yards is a bit short, but I just can't bet his rushing yards against his defense. Now his receiving yards at 18.5, I would gladly take.
You like the receiving yards better than the rushing yards?
Yep.
I think I agree with you there. Just because it's a shorter number, right? One big play, and you're almost there. AJ Brown plus 160. I can't remember what this was talking about, but we appreciate you jumping in. Sorry, the chat is cracking today. I appreciate you guys helping us out. Largest winning margin, over or under 16.5 points. Oh, I think that's a great one. Really? I was going to go over. Why do you think under?
Because I think the worst score is going to be 24-10, and it's going to be that Titans game.
Okay. Now you're calling your score.
I just think the other game stays close. Tampa's going to squeak out a win on a Matthew Stafford bad interception late. Green Bay and San Fran is going to be a dogfight till the end. And the Bills Chiefs, I mean, we all know there's going to trade shots into the end zone all game.
Yeah. All right. Well, hey, I'm with you there. Obviously I didn't spend too much time capping it. A lot of these we're just getting right, like JSU does on the final countdown, right? Getting the questions and just answering as quick as we are. Richie says, I love those picks. Same ones I had. Confirming is always great. Let's hope we're meeting at the window saying that same exact thing. Mike, 87 Kush. Tyler, he's got the same exact prediction as you. Feeling even better. Maybe we can bet that final score. This one's for me, Tyler. I finally got a question on the prop show. Marquetta over Sam. So here's my idea on that one signed, and this is a tennis question for you guys that don't know. I thought for sure Vondrousova was going to be a dog, but they priced it right. I like Marquetta, but I don't think there's any value at the price that's up right now. They priced it right. I thought she was going to be a dog. I was surprised by that too. How about this is a great question by Kevin, and this is going to go to you because you are sharper on me than I am. How about a San Francisco first quarter over? Shanahan's first series game script's always sharp, and I could turn around. I don't know if you had time to type it, right? LaFour's pretty good at his.
That was where I was going with that. I was like, you should get 2 game scripts right off the bat that just both teams go down and score. It should be 7-7. So I like that over in the first quarter for sure.
This is why I love doing the show and having the chat, and I'm glad that we got some more people hanging out with us today. I would have never thought about it, but now that he brings it up, I mean, that's a great way to approach that game. Right, especially if you just think it's going to be a fantastic game and you want some action, right? I think that might be the best bet of the whole freaking game. Is there a better bet that you had in that one?
San Fran's money line.
Okay, we'll see. Blake, glad to do this. We're having a lot of fun. Randall Cobb is back this week, right? They make so much fun, right? And Rodgers says, I need to be more involved in the team, right? It's like, fine, we'll bring Randall Cobb back for you, buddy, right? Like, and who was it? A guy I listened to, John Middlecoff says, what do you want to do? You want to go to the combine and interview these guys? Like, don't ask to be more involved with the team if you're going to be vacationing in March and April, right? Do you know what being more involved in personnel actually entails? But the question is, Randall Cobb is back this week. Is there any props that you like for him?
I mean, maybe an anytime touchdown. I could see him eating into Lazard's production, and Valdez-Scantling's still out, so Cobb's definitely going to get some run here. But I didn't see any receiving yards props listed for him. Maybe he'll post some tomorrow closer to game time.
All right. I don't know if I'm going to pronounce his name right. Trigg is in here. He says, Tyler, you play DFS too? He wants to see a core. Well, we're going to have to get with
I got to get more into it.
Maybe next season,
I need guys to groom me before I come out.
I've been being helped a lot on the tennis, and there's so much stuff that you think you know, and then you talk to someone who does it professionally, and you're like, oh, wow, I didn't know that. Wes was talking receiving was what he was looking at for Acres. I'm glad we do this. Thank you, Brandon. He says he appreciates it. The job isn't easy. What do you think of this one from Signed Collectibles? San Francisco first quarter, 2.5, over minus 155, under plus 125. So that I think he's saying you're
13 total. That's my guess.
Well, you have to bet over.
Yeah.
Just a field goal?
But it's minus 160, so it's like
it should be minus 200.
Yeah, but I'm not running to lay that juice.
Yeah, I guess.
God forbid Green Bay chews off 9 minutes and scores, and then our game script is coming with 5 minutes to go in that quarter. And
the under should be like plus 150 or plus 160 though. You're getting ripped off there if you take that under at plus 125.
Yeah.
So. This is against everything we said so far, but hey, let's entertain all these ideas. Mike Cush says, how about under 28 in the first half of Buffalo KC? Feels like it's a slow start before the fireworks. Good point, right? Maybe take these guys a little time to figure things out. Maybe they're conservative at the beginning. I don't want to go touch an under at all in that game, but Mike might have a point here. What do you think, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I could definitely see it. It could be one of them spots where like everyone's lining up betting first half over. Full game over, first quarter's over. And we've seen games like that where it doesn't get till the second half and then all of a sudden we have 50 points scored. So could be a great look, but I just think that game, like both teams are just going to go out there and it's going to be 100 miles an hour from start to finish.
Yeah.
Remember the Rams-Chiefs game from a couple years ago in Mexico?
Well, they didn't actually play in Mexico. They played in Kansas City. It got canceled, but I know what you're talking about. It was what?
Well, the schedule in Mexico City,
Yeah,
it's going to be like that.
All right. So, Mike, we're not going to play that, but if you do and you cash, we will definitely give you your props when we do our rundown on Monday. First quarter TD for the Niners, plus 160.
I like it.
Yeah. I mean,
just
we've been talking about that already.
Back to what we were just saying, if the only way you lose that, I think, because we all know their game script is going to be good right off the first drive, they should get a touchdown out of it. The only way they lose is if they get the ball second and there's like 4 minutes left on the clock.
No, because Green Bay is not going to take 8 minutes off the clock.
That's the thing. I don't think they will. But if they do, and then you get the ball, it's like they're probably only at the 30-yard line before they flip and go back the other way.
I think you're more likely to fail that Jimmy G just comes out and is just flubbing wide open passes, right?
Yeah.
And Shanahan dials it up perfectly, and Jimmy G misses Kittle by like 10 yards or something right down the middle. But I would play yes if I had that one. I'm going to skip one of these questions, but we're going to get back to you, Richie Smalls, because that maybe we might end the show with that. Wes says, what about Cobb over 22.5 receiving yards on Prize Picks?
I like that. I think he's good. So, huh? Yeah, because I think he's going to be a third down look guy, like maybe catches him across the middle for a slant or two. Mm-hmm. Catches one for 11 yards, catches the next one for 13, you're good. So definitely like that play.
Yeah. Richie says Green Bay does play at a slower pace. Yeah, I mean, they do. But hold it for 8 minutes, yeah. I mean, that's a lot to ask against a team that you know is going to be fired up on the defensive end, can get pressure on the quarterback. Yeah, I could see it not cashing, but I think it's more likely to cash because Jimmy G just flubs a wide open receiver more than the Packers play ball control. I know your answer to this already. Bengals, Bills, Rams, parlay, money line. No, we don't like any of that, right? Because we both like KC.
Yeah, I'm about to say that's like he flipped it on us. I see what he did there.
Do it. We've been wrong before.
Yeah, I say you come back and take your victory lap.
Yeah. That like the old joke, right? When you say, "Oh, I built a model and it sucks." Well, just fade your model then. So cool. All right, Brandon, let's see how that turns out. Please check it out with us. And guys, if you didn't know, it's your first time just hanging out with us. We do a recap show at 1 o'clock Eastern. On Monday, and we'll talk about what we saw, and then of course look forward to the conference championships game. Dave and Cal 48, what's up, buddy? I haven't seen you for a while. You were used to be real big on the live show helping out, so we always appreciate you hanging out. He likes the Bills money line. Cobb's the sneaky value pick. Everyone's going to go to Pringle. Yeah, I can see that. Big T likes all the dogs this weekend. That doesn't surprise me. All right, I think that we've gone through the chat of all the good prop questions for you, Tyler. So I got to ask you this one from Richie Smalls. Is Rodgers or Brady the MVP? Let's hear it, Tyler.
You know where my answer's at.
I know. That's why I saved it.
It's Brady. He was first in passing yards, first in passing touchdowns.
And first in getting wins by throwing to no-name receivers.
Yeah.
When your high-profile receiver does cartwheels off the field.
Yep.
Right? So, I mean, nobody else has ever dominated that statistical category like Tom Brady has.
Hopefully it's Brady.
All right, guys, that was a lot of fun, and they even stuck through my monologue, so I appreciate you guys doing that. But hey, when it's for Tyler, right, you can endure a little bit of pain of having to hear me. Added the bets today. All right, we got a couple on the sheet for tonight that we really like, Brandon, so let's hope that we cash. All right, we got time for some more questions. If Worth and Jensen you out, do you like Brady's under on the passing yards? That's kind of like an NBA question.
I still wouldn't play the under on there because if they get blown out, he could still get some garbage time yards.
Yeah, and he drops back so short that it doesn't matter, right? 3-step drop, it doesn't really matter who's protecting.
Yeah.
So, all right, Tyler, this was a lot of fun, man. This really went well. Maybe next year we'll drop back to this time because we're actually getting a little more engagement than we did going head-to-head with the Hardwood Show. By the way, what bets will win this weekend? Do we want to give out a best bet? Great point, ATF. We didn't even give out a best bet. What am I doing? Shoot your host. He's distracted by the Australian Open. Tyler, best bet for the weekend, side, total, or prop?
I mean, it's a tough one. It's actually not. I'm just going to go with the don't overthink it. Mm-hmm. Derrick Henry over 80.5 rushing yards.
All right.
If the dude's healthy enough to play, Tennessee's going to run the hell out of them. Mm-hmm. 80.5 short with a team missing their defensive tackle.
All right. I'm going to take the San Francisco 49ers +6. It's the biggest spread. We do expect these playoff
take their money line spread.
I just want to win, man. I took the money line last week, and do you know how much I was sweating during that final drive because I was like, no matter what, the +3 is going to cover. I would have been so pissed, right? If Dak would have not ran the ball with 14 seconds to go, taken 2 shots in the end zone, and he could have got it in there. Boy, what a mistake that he made. And boy, I felt lucky to get there. But let's be honest. I mean, if Jimmy G can just wait for his lineman to get set, Dak doesn't even have the opportunity to do that. But okay, so Tyler's best bet, Derrick Henry over 80.5 yards rushing. I'm taking the 49ers +6. Tyler, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
Nope, just sign up, be in the Discord. That's where we get all the information out at, and then just tune into the live shows this weekend. You got UFC and the NFL on tomorrow, and then NFL on Sunday.
You just put something in the Discord. My phone's flashing. You're distracting me while we're on the air, Tyler. So if you are a member of runpurebets.com right now, you will get the notification that Tyler just put in the Discord. I have no idea what it is. I'll find out after the show. But if you're not a member, head on over to runpurebets.com. Use the promo code BETS25 off. And Richie always reminds me, but I'll do it again. Like, subscribe, and hey, a great reason on why you should share, because we had a great chat today. And I think that you guys, especially – we got to go back. I got to go back so I can give him his props. It was Kevin Clunan, right? On that first quarter over. Anyways, you guys are throwing some great props in there. Makes the show so much better. We really appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Keg will be live all weekend. We will be back Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, to recap the games. Hopefully, hey, last week I was taking some victory laps. Will I be able to do it again? Find out Monday. Run.